It was a bullet, wasn't it?
A bullet?
That jumped up and bit you.
Oh, yes, sir. Bit me directly in the buttocks. They said it was a $1 million wound, but the Army must keep that money because I still ain't seen a nickel of that $1 million. The only good thing about being wounded in the buttocks is the ice cream. They gave me all the ice cream I could eat. And guess what? A good friend of mine was in the bed right next door. Lieutenant Dan, I got you some ice cream. Lieutenant Dan, ice cream.
Gee, Bubblegum Shrimp ought to make some sort of a sundae dedicated to Lieutenant Dan. We'll just say the Bedpan Ice Cream Challenge. Pretty cool, right?
Show me that smile again. Don't waste another minute on your crying. We're nowhere near the end. The best is ready to begin. As long as we got each other, we got the world spinning right in our hands, baby, rain or shine. All the time, we got each other, sharing the laughter and love.
Hey everybody, it's Zach, the Incredible Impression here. Woohoo! What you're about to see is the Lieutenant Dan Band's performance now yesterday at Lake Sumter Landing in the Villages. You guys do need to understand that I have trimmed the show down into samples of the songs as to avoid copyright claims and infringements, blah, 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 blah. So without further ado of doing, Lieutenant Dan, hit it.
Thank you. Angel's Theme by Max Sinise.
All right.
So, yeah, beautiful melody that he wrote in college, and I just started finding all kinds of things. And one of the things that I found was another thing that he started actually working on when he was working on Arctic Circles with Dan. And I found this melody of Max singing into his phone, this melody, these lyrics. I found a page of lyrics that he wrote. And it turned out that he had started fooling around with it with Dan when they were fleshing out Arctic Circles. And I found some messages back and forth between Mac and Dan, and I went to Dan and I said, Dan, what is this? And he said, oh yeah, Mac and I were working on it a little bit. And I said, well, you're gonna finish it. We're gonna put it on the second record. So Dan went to work on it, and this is a rockin' tune that we love playing. This is a song by Max Sinise and Dan Myers called Quasi Love.
Tapped out. They say we try and it's too reach you. The sky's falling down the sky. Quasi love, quasi love, quasi love, that's quasi love. Quasi love, quasi love, quasi love, that's quasi love. Quasi love, come on. Quasi love, that quasi love. Sing it with us. Quasi love, that quasi. You got it, come on. Quasi love, that quasi. Quasi love, that quasi.
So those two songs are on Resurrection and Revival Part 2. And again, there's a tent back there and there's a trailer over here, I think, where we have cool hats, cool shirts, all kinds of cool things. All the proceeds go to the Gary Sinise Foundation to help us do great things. So, one would have thought that I found all the music when I made Resurrection and Revival Part 2, but I was wrong. There was more. And I started searching, and I found more and more and more and more music. So I went to work on Resurrection and Revival Part 3. And that record right now is being pressed and printed. The vinyl is being printed at the... Hi, everybody. Is everybody okay? It's a little crowded. But Resurrection and Revival Part 3 is now being pressed, and it's going to be available through the Gary Sinise Foundation website. I had a birthday on March 17th, and it... St. Patty's Day. Same day of the year. And on that day, we actually put Resurrection and Revival Part 3 on a sale, pre-sale. So I don't know, is that, look, there's a QR code up there, just in case. But you can order it on the Gary Sinise Foundation website. There's so much music, and it's beautiful music. We're gonna play one song from Resurrection and Revival Part 3. It was a song that I found Mac playing guitar and just doing a thing on it. And then I found a bunch of lyrics in one of his journals. And I thought it was perfect for Dan to work on, gave it to Dan, and this song is called Walk Before You Run.
So you picked it up real quickly, so why don't you help us out with this one here, too, ready? It's Walk Before You Run, you got it? Here we go. Yeah. Walk before you run. before you run.
Sure did, Adam. will never be that good at the drums. Why do you think I'm sticking with you two?
Time tonight at the building. Woo! Let's meet the band one more time. Ben Lewis on the keyboard. Danny Gottlieb on the drums. Beth Gottlieb on the percussion. Keith Ashiro on the trombone. We got an Air Force veteran there. Kurt Garrison on the trumpet. Mitch Paliga on the saxophone. James Stuckman on the rhythm guitar right here. Jeremy Beaver on the lead guitar. And how about our singers? Awesome singing people. Gina Gonzalez. Molly Callanan. Marie Ann Jaime. Dan Myers on violin and vocals. Sinise on the bass. Oh gosh. I think we have a few veterans in the audience tonight. Can we light up the crowd? Is there a way to fire them up out here? Where's all our veterans? Veterans, stand up. Let me see you. Big round of applause for all our veterans. Our first responders, our police officers, firefighters. Come on, stand up. Thank you. I started the Gary Sinise Foundation to serve and honor the needs of the men and women who defend us and protect us, and the families who sacrifice alongside them. Gosh! Turn the lights down. I'm getting attacked up here. And you know, I have a lot of veterans in my family. On my side of the family, my wife's side of the family. On my wife's side of the family, Vietnam veterans. How many Vietnam veterans we have here in the audience tonight? Welcome home, Vietnam veterans. We have a big, it's Vietnam War Veterans Day next week on the 29th. And the band will be down in Washington, D.C., right on the mall, right by the Vietnam Veterans Memorial.
All right.
We have a big concert in celebration and salute of our Vietnam veterans down in D.C. on the 29th. You happen to be in the neighborhood, come on over, it's free. Because we can never do enough for the men and women who serve. I just don't think we can. We can say thank you, we can thank them for their service, but we can never really seriously do enough for what they provide, our precious, precious freedom. We can never take that for granted. And the protection our firefighters and police officers give to us and to our community. I've met so many extraordinary people doing this. You know, just people that have inspired me and motivated me and taught me. You know, taught me about sacrifice, and I've seen so many of the families of our fallen heroes, and my foundation has so many different programs on multiple fronts, doing multiple types of things to just try to ensure that they never feel forgotten. You know, never feel unappreciated. We remember all too well, I was in high school at the end of combat operations in Vietnam in 1973. And I remember I was just kind of diddly-bopping around and playing my guitar and doing high school plays and chasing girls around and all that stuff. And then just a little while after I graduated, I met my wife, Moira. Well, she wasn't my wife then, but she became my wife, and she introduced me to her two brothers. One, a combat helicopter pilot in Vietnam, 800 combat hours over Vietnam, and the other was a West Pointer. West Point graduate, class of 66. His name was Boyd McCanna Harris. My son Mac was named after him. And he did 2 tours in Vietnam. And then my wife's sister served in the Army, and she married a Vietnam veteran, combat medic in Vietnam. They had a son, and he did 2 tours in Afghanistan. Now he's a police officer up in Washington State. So, just a lot of service in my family, and I think it just, you know, when I met my wife's brothers just a little bit after graduating high school, and they started to talk to me about Vietnam and what it was like to serve there and what it was like to come home, you know, to a divided nation and all that stuff that we know about, that was shameful. It was a shameful period in our country. I learned quite a bit from them, and I just wanted to try to do something to support our Vietnam veterans. So I started working with Vietnam veterans back in the 80s, and then 10 years later, along comes Lieutenant Dan. I got to play Lieutenant Dan in Forrest Gump. And because I got to play Lieutenant Dan, Lieutenant Dan, of course, was a wounded veteran, double amputee, and I was contacted by the Disabled American Veterans Organization back in 1994, about 6 weeks after the movie came out. And they invited me to their national convention, and I went to their national convention, and 2,000 wounded veterans stood up and started applauding for me for playing a part in a movie. And these were the real Lieutenant Dans, and I was standing there. I was so moved by that experience, you know, playing a part. I was an actor playing a part, and here were the real Lieutenant Dans who had really sacrificed, who had given a lot, and they were applauding me for being in a movie. And that was life-changing. It changed me, and from that point on, I started trying to help wherever I could, and then September 11th happened. And I wrote a book called Grateful American, because I am one. I am a grateful American. And there's a chapter in the book called Turning Point, and it's the September 11th chapter. It's the chapter that talks about what that moment did to galvanize my service life. And from that point on, I went into service. And it all grew into the Gary Sinise Foundation, and now we're 15 years in, and we've raised a lot of money to help our defenders and their families. It's given life great purpose to be able to go out there and shake hands with real American heroes and say thank you. It's given life great purpose and meaning to be able to kind of become a sort of a rallying point for our fellow citizens who want to support the men and women who serve to come to the Gary Sinise Foundation and help us to do this good work, so that we ensure that what happened to our Vietnam veterans when they came home, the shameful way that they were treated and the difficulties that they had at that time, the American people are helping me to try to make sure that that never happens again. So thank you to all of you. Again, if you get a chance, stop by the tent over there or the trailer. Go to our website, GarySiniseFoundation.org. Take a look at my son's Mac's music. That music is helping the foundation to do great things. And I'm very proud of him and what he stood for and what he wanted to do with his life and what he did do. And he's helping us carry this mission forward. So God bless you all. God bless all our veterans, all our first responders, all the families of our fallen heroes, all the families of our defenders. I salute you, I salute you, I salute you. Thank you. God bless you and God bless America. Let's all stand up and sing this last song together.
And I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, because the flag still stands for freedom and they can't take that away. Across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, from New York to LA, there's pride everywhere, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American. Die.
Thank you, Gary.
Thank you, Gary.
Thank you. God bless you, Gary.